Hey everyone, it's Vlogmas day. What day are we up to? Day 8. 8! And today is one of those days that didn't quite go to plan. I started off doing bonsai, and as I was finishing up the first bonsai of the day, something unexpected happened, and it's probably easier if I just show you, and then we can talk about it after. Alright, roll tape. I don't know if that is a thing. Let's just do it. Bloody ants all in my supplies. That's really annoying. The fuckers are all in my sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss? I don't know how you pronounce it. But like, I need that. Look, they've got little eggs and shit. I need that for making muck for my bonsai. Get out of there, you idiot ants. God damn it. Oh my god, look. Look at this. This is nuts. And like, I don't know, I kind of want to catch them and make an ant farm, but what? I got a few in there, but I really don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to get bitten and I'm like heaps paranoid. Alright, so I sort of don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just making this up as I go along. I've got a jar and there's some ants in it and some dirt and some eggs, and I'm trying to like get them to swim to it, but I don't know how successful I am. I even made a bridge from the water into the jar with some of the sphagnum moss. I don't know if it's working. I don't know if I'm just giving them a route to escape, but I was sort of hoping they would figure out, hey, this is a dry spot in the middle of the water, maybe we should stay there. But yeah, I didn't really Google that long how to catch ants, and you know, they're just like, oh, find a nest and scoop it up. Yeah, well, this nest didn't really have any dirt to scoop up, so this is my attempted solution. I'm also trying to catch them with the shovel and then just like drop them into the jar. So yeah, but I'm still heaps paranoid about getting bitten, and now I've scared off the bulk of them, so it's getting a little bit harder, but I can manage one ant at a time. When there's too many, I just sort of freak out. So yeah. And look, there's a whole bunch hiding under here. I don't know if I can get them to, you know, somehow lure them out and send them into my jar. I don't know. I'll probably have to catch them manually and try not to squash them. I'm also specifically aiming for ants that are carrying eggs, because I figure eggs, you know, might give me more ants later if I don't mess this up. How are we going in here? Come on, it's really hard to get the lighting right. I mean, I think there's some in there. I may have buried a bunch though, which should be fine seeing as they're ants, but I don't know. They're all in a bit of a panic. I've also been trying to rescue some who are sort of stuck in the water. There's some over there. It's really hard to get the lighting right. I'm sort of, come on. Almost ruined my little bridge there. Yeah, if I see one sort of half drowning, I've been trying to push it towards the jar, but I don't know if I'm having any success at all. We'll have to follow this up in like a week. And maybe I should get a proper ant farm to put them in, or I don't know, somehow figure that out. Just sorting through all this moss, trying to make sure there's not any more ants hiding in there. I think I might have caught a queen. I don't know, its bum looked a bit bigger than the others, but overall it was about the same size. So windy. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what a queen actually looks like, but yeah, I took all the moss out of the packet, and now I'm just sort of combing through it and putting it in a bigger bag, because there's no way I'm going to fit it back in there. Oh, I've been here too long. Feel free to call me an idiot, because I am. I should have just bought a new one. Look, there's more! You're not helping her. Oh my god. I'm just trying to make sure there's no more ants in there because I don't want them to breed in the fucking new bag. What do you think, Hope? You're overdoing this filming thing. Are we getting the 360 view? Hope you're kind of in the way. I need that other hand using. Ah. It's 6 PM and I'm still going. Really annoying. Look, there's so many. And is that a queen or is it just an older one? I don't even know. That'll do. Okay, so I've tied it up, and unlike the old bag, this one has no holes in it, so hopefully that'll stop the ants getting back in, but I will keep an eye on it. Now I gotta clean everything up. Alright, and I think there might also be some... Bloody hell, Hopio. Hope! Okay, so I think there might also be some ants in the peat moss and the propagating sand, so I'm going to tie them up really good, and then even if there is something inside it, hopefully they will all die from not being able to get out, because these don't have holes either. Done! Ta-da! Dodgy ant farm trap sort of thing, until I can get something proper to put them in, assuming any of them survive, which I don't know. Probably can't see. They did start digging, but it's really hard to show, and some of it's below the waterline. And I have this big label in the way. But there are ants in there, and so far they're still alive. And I guess we'll wait and see. And now I gotta hose out the tub that I keep all my shit in. Yay. Welcome to Ant Alcatraz, where we already have one prisoner who tried to escape, and now you are dead. That is what you get for trying to escape my jail for ants. What is this? A school for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times bigger. Really hard for me to show you because this torch isn't great, but yeah, they are building. How cool is that? And the little guys are all, yeah, they're tunneling. There are a few more dead ones who tried to escape, but I've given them some food. There's a bit of rice, cocoa pop, some sugar in there, and that seems to have stopped them from trying to escape so much. They're doing it a bit less often, and they seem to have really gotten into building. So yay, a success. For however long I can keep them alive for, we will see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that on camera. Whoops. Alright, yeah, so that was my day. A little bit frustrating and very time consuming. Haven't even looked at the timestamps on my videos throughout the day. I don't even want to. I know, like, after lunch is when I finished the bonsai and went to get the pebbles to put on the top. And that's when I discovered the ants in my box. And yeah, that was just after lunch, and then I spent the rest of the day catching ants and trying to weed them out of my sphagnum moss? I don't even know how you say it, but that stuff, yeah, I like... Did I really need to spend that much time on the sphagnum moss? I don't know. I'm just cheap at the moment, you know. I can't afford to be spending money on stuff, throwing things out, when a little bit of labor would fix the problem, you know. And I have so much time on my hands, I might as well sit there combing through each little bit of moss to get rid of the damn ants. Yeah, anyway, so that was frustrating, and it took too long. Now, with the whole ant farming thing, I didn't even plan this in my notes of, like, things to remember to tell them. But I should tell you the ant farm story. This isn't my story. This is my dad's story and his brothers and sister. And when they were younger, I think the oldest was like, hey guys, let's get an ant farm, and really hyped it up, and they were all like heaps excited to get an ant farm, and then like, you know, pooling money together. And then they get an ant farm and are rather disappointed by it. And like, I'm not telling the story as funny as they did because I wasn't there, and I guess I just, you know, it's just a part of things I was told as a kid. So now, with the Grays family, anytime someone gets heaps excited about some kind of fancy new gadget that seems like it's all that, we start saying, oh, you're ant farming, you know, you're, which I do a lot of ant farming. I mean, have you seen all my music gear? And like, oh, wow, I get all my little obsessions, spend a little bit too much money impulse buying stuff, and then don't really touch them again. My parents are a little bit annoyed with me leaving my cello around. Yes, I have a cello, which I really can't play, and probably shouldn't have bought, but I like the idea of having a cello, but yeah, no, it's an ant farm, I admit. So anytime I say, oh, that's such an ant farm, it's kind of like, I hope I've conveyed the gist of what an ant farm is. To me, it's just like this language I have internalized, and I will say it without even realizing that other people don't know what I mean by an ant farm. So now you are into my family's, well, some of my family's weird language. Anyway, so that's that. Getting back to the things that I did write down to say, hey, maybe you should mention this. So I've tried to do some research to figure out whether or not I caught a queen, but the problem is, geez, I cannot tell what kind of ants these are because they're too damn small, and I don't have any kind of microscope. I suppose I could try using my camera to zoom in, but it's mostly digital zoom, I think, and there's only so much detail it can get. So, and then like, there are so many species of ants, even just in Australia, I wouldn't even know where to start. So whether or not I caught a queen, and I think I've got two that looks kind of bigger than the others, whether or not they're a queen kind of depends on what species they are, because some species it's really obvious where they're really big compared to all the other ants, but there are others where the difference is a little bit more subtle, it turns out. So I may have caught a queen, but if it's a species where they have big queens, then I totally didn't. But while I was doing that little research, like, did I tell all these people dumb shit that I don't know about? I did tell you dumb shit that I don't know about. It turns out those little white things are not eggs. They are pupae, or pupa? I don't know, like the sort of in-between cocoony kind of stage before they turn into adult ants. Yeah, which I thought they were a bit big for eggs, because they were almost the size of the ants carrying them. And when you think about the queen, even when the queens are bigger, wouldn't want to pop that out your backside. So the eggs must be really tiny, in which case I've not found eggs. I have found pupae. I don't know how you pronounce any of this stuff. I just read it and I know it in my head, but I don't know what it's meant to sound like because I've never really talked to an ant person. Are they called entomologists? I don't know. Why are bugs such a big part of my life at the moment? What, 2 videos ago I had that fucking fly going around, and then last video I was a snug bug and I was raging about mosquitoes, and I did have a bunch of mosquitoes biting me today. Turns out this species of ants doesn't really bite. I don't know if they have any soldiers, but yeah, they didn't bite. The fucking mosquitoes got me. But while I tried using gloves to shovel them, but of course, you know, they could crawl around, and after a while that just seemed pointless. What I tried using sticks to like get little ones and sort of flick them into the thing or scrape them on the side of the jar, and just like all these methods of trying to catch the ants. And well, when you're doing that, inevitably some of them start crawling all over you. They were definitely crawling over my arms, so I spent a lot of time doing this. And there may be some that crawled into my shoes. I don't know. I'm feeling like ants are crawling all over me, and I don't know if that's true. I think I'm just sort of freaking out. And the thing that makes it really difficult is I have this ridiculous long hair that I really should just cut off. So every time my hairbrushes against my arm. I'm like, it's an ant. I'm covered in ants. So, tomorrow, Sunday, is cleaning day. I'll have a shower and then I can just be free of ants. Hopefully they won't crawl in my mouth when I'm sleeping and just, like, I will probably eat so many ants in my sleep. Yes. Oh, well, I was a little bit worried I was bum-shaming the Queen. But we've already gone through that thing of not knowing what the Queen looks like. And we've already gone through whether or not it was worth saving the sphagnum moss. I have no idea how you pronounce this stuff. We've gone over the fact that I'm poor. Oh, while I was doing that thing trying to get the ants off the moss, yeah, I had to hunch a lot because it was down low, and like I tried lying on that funny little chair thing and trying to move my position, doing some on this side, doing some on this side. After a while I took away that blue sheet to try and get them to just go into the dirt, because after a while I just got tired of catching ants. I was like, no, go away, go into the dirt. But yeah, it made my back sore, and probably tomorrow I'm gonna pay for it. Also, what made that hard is it was windy, so that blue thing, the tarp that I was on kept, what do you call that, flying into the air, kind of. I was trying to weigh it down with different things, with myself, with the chair thing. That was a pain. And then also the moss itself kept rolling all over the place, so I was chasing them around a lot. 8 minutes in, we gotta pause because there's people walking around. Okay. Yeah, sorry, just people walking around at the moment. It's really awkward for me to make a video when people are around. So, oh yes, I'm a little bit worried I got sunburned sitting around. The one thing that I'm really sort of wondering is, like, why they went there, because I kind of thought that they couldn't get into that shed, but I guess everything has little cracks and stuff. But why they would go in there when there's, like, not really a whole lot of dirt. I mean, the moss isn't even dirt. But we did have that huge amount of rain, what was that, maybe like a week or two ago. When did we come back from the trip? Yeah, about like 10 days ago maybe was when that big rain was. And so I do wonder if they were trying to move to higher ground, and that's why they moved their nursery up into there as well. So that could be a thing. That could be why there were so many ants, why they decided to make a nest there, because they were not there a month ago. I did a huge amount of bonsai almost exactly a month ago, and yeah, I was seeing that corner and they were not in there. So it's since the last month that they brought all their stuff around, and they're pretty industrious, so I'm guessing it could be because of that rain. But, you know, it's hard to show you exactly the setup, but if you have a different theory, please let me know. And I'm going to wrap up because I'm feeling heaps awkward now that people aren't watching TV and they're walking around and probably listening to me talk to myself in my room. And I just feel too awkward, but I will keep an eye on my little ant jail, and we will, I guess, follow up maybe next week. I'm not sure. If they all die, though, maybe I'll just, like, never mention it again. Oh, yes, because I did put on quite an ant apocalypse, didn't I? I didn't realize until watching the film back that, yeah, I kind of just suddenly cut to the big Noah's Ark kind of flood situation where everything looks like it's dead. I did catch quite a few before that, so, like, it's probably not as bad as it looks, but, and a bunch did escape, but yeah, it looks pretty bad. And I didn't mean to destroy everything, but then again, that's in my username, and that's kind of me, so maybe I did. I better go before I, like, hurt myself. See you tomorrow, guys. You won't change me.